our page. And hi, everybody. This is Joellen Newman. We're live now Wednesday night. Lucky day, St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. And tonight I'm hosting Yarah Prezeau. Is that how how do I say your last name?
Prezeau.
Prezeau. Oh, thank you. Yarah Prezeau. And, I think I was just telling her I'm so excited about having her here and the topic that she's covering. She's covering stress eating. And I don't know about you, but I think everybody on this planet has experienced stress eating, and there's not enough support out there for us who just eat and like, why the heck am I eating, right? Why the hell am I eating? What am I eating? And all those things. So Yarah and I have known each other, for several years now, and we get to work every once in a while together on things. And tonight, I'm just really honored to bring her here. And so just to tell you a little bit about her, she is a lifestyle and personal resilience coach. She's a graduate of the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, as well as Dr. Sears Wellness Institute. She's also a certified neurolinguistics programming practitioner and holds certificates in stress management. She is the owner of Your Holistic Health. And as you see tonight, as you watch, you'll see yourholistichealth.com. So please go to her website if you like. Her services are focused on supporting women over 40 to create healthy habits that have a ripple effect in all areas of their life. She helps you to discover and overcome the obstacles that are currently stopping or slowing you down from feeling and looking your best. And I can tell you that I have used Yarah for my nutritional needs many years ago. I loved her. I stayed in touch with her. And so I can share with you my personal journey was I tend to be non-compliant, right? If you remember that, Yarah. It was just hard. And, she, in my experience, she goes, Joellen, you can do this. Just tweak it little by little. Just keep going. And it was good for me. I always want to lose more weight. I gain and lose, but she really helped me at a time that was high stress for me. So Yarah, please share with us, the audience, and I'm going to check in with Facebook pages and see how they're doing. But just everything that you have to share with them, because I know your knowledge is truly vast in this field. And you've got all the right pieces that put things together between stress and nutrition and, the NLP, all of that together. And you're an incredibly soulful woman. So I just want everybody to know you.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. And thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
I guess what I can say first, it really started from my own journey. It was back in 2002. It's been a while. 2002. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And this was the time when I had my third child, and I couldn't figure out what in the world was wrong. Pain head to toe. So I went to the doctor, of course, and going through the various specialists and them trying to figure out what was wrong. First, it was maybe it's lupus, maybe it's bone cancer, they threw a whole bunch of stuff out until finally they decided, okay, this is what it is. And the suggestion at the time was to stop nursing. I was nursing my baby at the time, so that I could go on a regimen of meds. And that personally was not an option for me because I wanted to continue nursing. And so that started my journey of reassessing and assessing everything that I was doing, from my stress levels to what I was eating, what I was using for my personal hygiene, and what I used in the house, everything. And I realized that, wait a minute, little by little, I started to feel better. And so that's when it really hit me just how much of an impact that lifestyle changes can make. And I decided to go and get properly trained and become a coach to help other women, not necessarily in the same situation, fibro, as I was, but to
Mm-hmm.
reduce the stress and to change everything in their lives little by little to have an impact. So now, like you said, I love working with women in midlife. That's where I am.
Right.
In midlife, to curb stress eating, so that they can bounce back and reconnect with themselves. And in the process,
Mm-hmm.
um, change and feel good and look good.
Right.
Mm.
And I think one of the things that is so inspiring about you is that you really do live what you've learned to teach. You take care of yourself. You are very cognizant of what you bring. Like you have a group in Facebook. It's a year-long program, I know, in supporting women and making sure that they have a path in which to succeed. But because of your soulfulness and connecting with people, that you can, especially when we are stress eating, you have a way of just getting in there and picking out what's really going on. I don't know if you know that, but even when we had a little bit of time in December, I could tell you just pick up and draw the exact things that need to be known, right? That like, oh, that's what I understand. Oh yeah, this is going on. And it's that clarity, that perception, that allows you to help, I think, especially, like you said, you help women, but as we go through very stressful moments and times where we just want to eat, and we both know, and I'm sure many of us know out there listening, that we're just stuffing down emotions that we don't want to deal with. And we're doing that through a unconscious moment that just feed me, except we're feeding the wrong things, right?
Exactly. I always say you have to find out what really needs to be nourished.
Right.
And knowing that you're triggered by something is one thing, but
Right.
figuring out what exactly that trigger was, that's
Mm-hmm.
something totally different. So in the case of stress eating, you have to think back and try and figure out, piece together, okay, so what happened before I picked
Mm.
up that donut? Where was,
Mm-hmm.
who was I with? What was I thinking? What was I
Right.
doing? What was I feeling? And
Right.
if you can, go back even further, and then you're going to wind up seeing a pattern. So if
Right.
there's a specific place or thing, okay, well, we're not going around a whole bunch these days, but generally
Right.
speaking, if there's a specific place, even a specific time of day
Right.
that you notice that, okay, you know what? I tend to grab whatever. Maybe you're just tired.
Right.
Maybe you're whatever the situation is, but you have to figure that out. Figure that out.
Yeah, it's funny because when you mention pay attention to the time of day, whether is something going on or patterns, I think patterns really get us into habits, right? Oh, it's just as we go, as we age through life, and our eating habits change, our patterns of eating change, and it's funny. I know I've really paid attention to mine lately because I have gained weight, and it's like that's the last thing I want to do. And so I realized around 4 o'clock, I would try to sit down. That's the time of day I would actually watch news. And I often don't have time, but when I did, it's like, okay, that's when I would eat. And it was almost like kind of fulfilling me while I was watching the news. And then I thought, well, that's interesting. I was a little bit tired, because I'd been working in the office or coaching all day. And I thought, I've got to cut that out. Or in the evening. But when I really need to just settle down into my own body, I'll do embroidery, right? But when I'm embroidering, I'm not eating at all. And it's like, oh, I don't need to eat at night. That's just became a habit. If I wasn't doing something with my hands, I would eat. And that just noticing that the times of the day, both in the early or mid afternoon and also late evening, I'd snack on something. And it was just because, I can't do just one thing. It's terrible to multitask, but I've learned the more that I can keep my hands busy, if I'm writing a program, then it's like, I don't even think about food. It just, whether I'm hungry or not, I don't even think about it. So I know I'm not eating. And so that was something I really looked at recently, because again, I had to pay attention to my weight. I mean, as I get older, I really don't want to add weight because it increases my health risks. And I'm very cognizant of being healthy, of being strong, of being, the mental capacity, all those things that I want to grow into old age with, but in a really more healthy type of way. So it's insight like yours that by your asking, okay, do you see a pattern, noticing how you feel, things like that. I think that's pretty powerful.
Not only that, even identifying the specific emotion itself, the feeling, it often helps to be aware of how specific feelings affect us.
Mm,
There is uh, I'm trying to think of the word. I guess not a technique, but an exercise that I
right.
like to do with the ladies, where I would ask them specific questions. Okay, so when you're sad, your body feels what? And your mind
Mm,
is what? Your mood is, your energy is, and you act like, and we do
right.
this. And then we finally ended up with I want and I need. And we do
Oh
this
my
with
God.
different feelings, whether it's sadness or being afraid or being angry, but it shows through different ways. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to grab something to eat. Maybe you need
Wow.
something else. But we tend
Yeah.
to bunch them all in one pile, and the eating becomes the coping mechanism for everything.
Wow. And that is the truth. And I have Josiane here. Hi, Josiane. I'm going to say hello to you. Yeah, she gave a thumbs up to that. So I think that that resonates. And so when people are stress eating, taking them through those questions, is there any particular technique that would stop them in their tracks? Or is it just really breaking that cycle by asking questions?
That right there starts it. Just the
Okay.
awareness of it in itself stops
Mm-hmm.
it. Now you're eating mindfully. And
Mm.
even if you decide, in fact, I had a conversation with a lady yesterday. Even if you decide to, I'm going to use the donut again,
Mm-hmm.
consciously
It's a good
choose.
example.
So you would say, okay, I am consciously choosing to eat this donut right now,
Uh-huh.
even though I know that, and then you can add whatever consequences, even though I know that it will, I don't know,
Right.
spike my blood sugar, even though it'll make me feel
Right.
sluggish, even though, but you are now consciously doing it. It's not just a
Mm-hmm.
mindless act. And you can decide, okay, do I really want the consequences at the end, or
Uh-huh.
is it something else that I need? And then now you have the choice to put it down or continue what you're doing.
Mm. So for me, that would be hard.
Okay, it's hard to
You
get
know,
away. But it
it's
just brings to mind the mindfulness of it, though. So now you're not
right.
mindless
That's a
because
start. And you know what? That what I do, I love that because it's the mindful. So really, I think you hit it again on the head. That having that mindfulness, it's a start. So it's kind of like chunking down new techniques. So
Mhm.
that if you just get with the mindfulness, okay, that's a start.
Start.
If I still ate the donut, at least I started. I'm being mindful that, okay, I still ate the donut. But next time I ate a donut, which I don't very often,
Right.
but
That would be
but
that
they
next
are,
step.
but I don't know if I could actually put it away once I had it in my mouth. It's like, oh,
That's
do I
right.
want to, that's my difference. But, my next chunk it down step would be, I see that donut. I really want it. But I remember last time I was cognizant of, I'm
Yeah.
eating this donut. How do I want to feel? And that, I love that because, oh gosh, Josiane, I'm going to post here. She's made a comment, taken many of Yarah's sessions, very helpful and transformative. I love it. Thank you, Josiane. That's very cool. Yeah, exactly. It's very, and what you're sharing tonight is the fact that, just chunking down little new actions that we take with food does it takes away the judgment, I think.
Yes, and okay, I love that you said that because that to me is so important. Just the fact that you don't label the food good or bad
Right.
is huge because a lot of people tend to bring that upon themselves. And so that
Oh,
eliminates or at least reduces the judgment of deciding to eat that donut or not. And then you
right.
mentioned something else about seeing the donut. Now there's the added thing of, okay, how is your environment set up? If
Oh,
you know that you are prone to going for the donuts, don't have the donuts in your environment to begin
right,
with.
right, right,
Right? There
right,
are, I mean, you have to be honest with yourself. You have
right.
to know yourself. There are some people who can, okay, let's pick on chocolate for now,
Yeah.
who can have 70% chocolate, who have, who can have a piece, a portion, and then they're good. If you're
Right.
that type of person, okay, if you know
Mm,
that you're going to open that piece of chocolate and you're going to have the entire thing, then don't
mm-hmm,
put yourself through that.
mm-hmm,
Find a healthier option, something
mm-hmm.
else that would fill that
Mm,
same sense of need or same craving.
mm. And when you coach people, do you like investigate if chocolate was their go-to sweetener, right? Do you look at what could replace that and say, all right, if you want to cheat, then put just one aside in a little baggie? Or is there, I mean, I don't remember, it's been a long time since you worked with me on nutrition. So I don't remember, how you taught me. So
Well,
this is good too.
well, you can, like I said before, you can make portion sizes. Some
Uh-huh.
people put little baggies and they can honestly say, okay, I'm only going to have one.
Okay.
I am not that type of person. I'm going to
Right.
tell you right now. So you
Right.
have to be honest with yourself. If it's there, I
Right.
will get it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and I know that about myself, especially rum raisin ice cream. I'm going to put it out there right now. If I have a thing of rum raisin ice cream, craving or not, I love
Uh-huh.
it. I will eat
Uh-huh.
it. And putting it into little separate portions will not work
Right.
for me.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I don't get it.
Right. Right.
And if
Yeah.
I decide to get it, I will go out and,
Right.
for example, I don't even
And
know, into the stores.
right. Just have it at a little ice cream shop and then you can get a small and then you don't have
Exactly.
it in the
That's
house.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, and I think those are all key points that you covered. Making small portions, don't keep it in the house, asking questions, paying attention, all those questions that you brought up in terms of how did you feel before this, and look at the patterns. And this is really important. And I know it's just a short vignette of this topic, but you guys, I know I'm going to have a lot of people listening on replay as well. And I'm going to try to condense this down to 10 minutes to put it on LinkedIn. They only let me put a 10-minute video on, but otherwise it'll be on Facebook and YouTube, obviously for replay as well. But chunking all those little techniques and those tips will really help people, stop their stress eating. Maybe not all the time, but at least sometimes.
Right.
And that makes a huge difference.
It will. You mentioned noticing. We mentioned noticing what you felt like or what you were thinking of before. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
important that if you decide to go back to the donut, to take that donut,
Mm-hmm.
well, how did you feel afterwards?
Uh,
After the the surge of serotonin that went through your body and
right.
let that feel good. Now, how did you feel afterwards? Was it
Yeah.
worth it? Do you want to go back to that? Because
Mm-hmm.
we tend to not feel so good once
Right.
that sweet spot disappears.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, I noticed, I definitely noticed that. And in fact, I think over the years, when I was a kid growing up, I used to love baby Ruths. Now, and truly, if even throughout most of my adulthood, but probably in the past 5 years, I don't think I even want a baby Ruth. I mean, it's almost too sweet. And, you just like, I don't like it. I mean, it is a good candy bar, but I don't want to eat it. So yeah, paying attention how you feel after was, is maybe even more important because you can kind of remember that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
your
really
feelings.
exactly.
Right.
It's like, did
Right.
I get bloated? Did I get
Yes.
nauseous? Did I? And you don't really want to revisit that. And then now you have the choice again to have
Mm-hmm.
healthier options available to you. Some people like the crunch of chips. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe an apple might do.
Right. Right.
During stress time, I know we're not running for apples and
Right.
and strawberries, but maybe the crunch of it will
Right.
help.
Josiane says she still loves baby roots. I hear you, Josiane. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, but that's a good idea. Just the crunch, looking at celery or apples or things like that. I know I keep celery now. I keep because I do like the crunch. So this is so cool. I wish I could have you for an hour and keep going. I know people pop in and leave. But just to wrap up, how would you like for them to reach out to you as people watch this replay? And any last minute parting information or education for us, whatever.
Well, they can reach me at www.yourholisticapproach.com.
Okay.
But as far as parting tips, we only spoke about really just the
Yeah.
options of food. What
Right.
we really need to do is really be able to discharge all of that excess stressful energy. So we can
Oh.
something physical. We can breathe differently. There
Oh.
are a number of things. So we only touched the food aspect of having healthier options. But just like if you ever notice animals, they tend to
Right.
shake to
Right.
discharge that nervous energy that they have. And we can do the same thing. We can go out and
Oh.
do some movement, do breathing, there are a number of things that we can do to dispel that or release us of the tension.
Wow, that's good. That's good too. I mean, this is so rich because just breathing differently shifts our brain
Mhm.
to, okay, it's a different focus. It's
Absolutely.
and moving away, moving out of the area or just moving our bodies, taking a walk. Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. And so in your coaching, do you also do meditation, or I know you're trained in NLP. Do you um, do you use that in the coaching with stress eating, or is that just another process that?
Not so much meditation, but we would do visualizations
Hmm.
as far as, um, well, I can't even get into the techniques. Not so much meditation, but seeing yourself, future pacing, seeing your future,
Mm,
okay, and
right.
seeing how they reacted, and
Right.
that way we can follow through um, like that.
Oh, wow, that's cool. And I think that's pretty aspirational for people who are wanting to not stress eat is how could you see yourself handling this differently in the future? And that success and that pride in yourself, right? And
Exactly.
and just like, oh, I did that. I got past that stressful moment or that stressful hour, or I chose to handle it a different way with different behaviors. That's cool too. Oh, yeah. So you could teach me for hours, but you guys, please reach out to Yarah. She's a phenomenal coach, focusing in on women over 40 in some of your life crises and health issues. She's amazing. She's very soulful. She's very spiritual. And I know without a doubt that you would enjoy working with her as well. So I have. And if you want to learn more, go to her website, yourholisticapproach.com, and give her a call. I'm sure she's awesome and available to see what she can do for you. So, and like I said, I know you've taught me, or you shared with me, that you run your group. I know it's closed right now. It's not available, I don't think, for people listening. But as we go through this year, maybe there's another time next year when we'll have you back so that you can talk about that group, and so that people can understand there's significant long-term support on various issues that you can help them with. I'd like to do that.
I'd love to.
Oh, good, good. All right, you guys, that's it for Entrepreneurs on the Rise. Come visit us anytime. We're here to do life coaching for you. I have all these entrepreneurs every week who are incredibly amazing in different venues. So please check them out. And if you ever need a discovery call with me, you can always go to, I don't even have my thing up, but you can find me on Transforming Tomorrows and leave me a note. All right. Have a great night. Have a great St. Patrick's Day. Stay safe and stay healthy. All right. Mwah. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Yarah.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're amazing.